guys, I thought I'd take the time to make a video. I'm just in my car at church waiting. I just dropped off my son into children's worship service, and it's like a 30 or 40 minute wait since I attended last night. So anyways, I wanted to take this time to talk about what happened in my childhood and the trauma that I experienced. It's taken a long time for me to talk about this. Many years I blocked it out, and only in the past 5 or 6 years it has resurfaced and it has affected me. And I think for the very reason that I have been blocking it out for so long, I haven't been dealing with it. So I'm making this video because I've researched online for many years, searching if anyone had the same experience, and I found nothing. And until recently, I went onto Facebook groups. This year is the first time I've done that, and it has helped me tremendously, and I wanted to share my experience with you. And if you're watching and you have been through seeing a dog or your pet traumatized or injured and even died, I want to share my story with you and what I did and what it's helping me to deal with the process of healing. And I can feel that it has helped me little by little, and I feel a little bit of I guess I don't want to say it's better or it's gone away, but it's a little bit less painful every time I think about it. So my hopes in making this video sharing my story is I hope that it can help you deal with the blocked out feelings of what has happened, and to do so by sharing it to others, family or friends. Open up and talk about what happened, share your story. And if you're an introvert like me, I encourage you to go on to Facebook groups and find a group that you can share your experience and your story, because the comments really help me with looking at things in a different way, in a different light, that help me deal with the pain and the healing process. So let me begin with my story. How I hope that this video will help someone is by hoping this will help you deal with the blocked out pain that you've pushed away for many years. I hope this will help you with the grieving process, as it's helping me to help lessen the hurt inside, to help you stop blaming yourself, the feelings of guilt, to give you permission to let go, and helps take you back to your younger self and say or do what you want to say or do to help support your younger self in that situation at that time to make things better. Okay, I'll start with my story. Actually, I was 10 or 11, so it was 1980 or 81. I was 10 going on 11, and we lived in Guam. And I remember I was taking care of a stray dog, and I named her MD. And there was another stray dog too that was friends with MD that would hang out, and we named him Bantai. And in Philippines, Bantai means watch or watchdog. So we had Bantai and MD, and I named her MD because MD stood for menstruation dog. I couldn't think of anything else but to call her that, because she was bleeding at the time. I didn't know anything about the process, but suddenly she was pregnant. So She's a stray dog that we took care of on our driveway. That my my mom allowed me to feed her, so we would feed her outside. And yeah, our dogs weren't allowed in our home, just in our outside driveway. We did not have a fence. I think we had shrubs between the properties, and so these stray dogs would always come on our property, and I would feed her and take care of her outside. And so she had puppies. She had, I think she had two or three. I think she had three puppies, yeah. And one looked exactly like her, born with a very short tail, like only a couple inches short, just like MD was. And so the pups were about maybe about, they were running around, so they could have been 4 or 5 weeks old, or yeah, but they were really small still, maybe 4 to 5 weeks old. And one day, my father was in a rush to leave the house to bring my older sister, where she was in the choir. She was late for choir practice, so my father was rushing out with my sister, and I was in the front yard, standing there right by the front door, and I heard the squealing. I heard the puppy get smashed under my dad's car, backing up in the driveway. It actually was out, because we were in the corner of the cul-de-sac, so the puppy was out in the street right after the driveway in that roundabout of the cul-de-sac. So my father had smashed the puppy, or run over the puppy, and so I ran out screaming, crying, looking at the puppy, and in shock. And my father, I remember him yelling out to my mom to get her, get Amy inside. And so my mom took me inside, and I was in total shock. I remember just screaming and crying. And later that evening, I remember that I could hear the puppy crying through the night. My mother had put the puppy on a cardboard underneath this old car behind the house, which was a couple feet away from my window. So I could hear through the screen of my window. I could hear the puppy, and I went out and I crawled under to look at the puppy and hear and see its breathing through the night, choking breaths of blood, and just watching and crying and feeling helpless, not knowing what to do. I couldn't do anything. And I don't remember having a talk about that or anything like that. And so after that, I continued to take care of MD. I don't know what happened to the other pups, but one day MD got accidentally hit by a car, and I wasn't there, but I remember not seeing her for a while. Every day I would look for her and call for her. I didn't see her at all. And then one day I crawled under our old abandoned car at the back of the house, and I saw MD, and she was under there, and she wouldn't come out. And I kept calling and trying to give her food, and she wouldn't come out. And I crawled under to see her and see what's wrong, why she wouldn't come out. She was hiding under there, like she was afraid of something. And I looked at her and I petted her. I gave her food, and I noticed that her leg, because her back leg, it didn't look right. It was swollen, and it looked like it was infected. And I didn't know what to do. I don't remember telling my mother anything, but as the days went by or the weeks went by, when I checked on her, I noticed I had a good look, and her leg was like, the bone was, it was half eaten. Her leg was basically half gone, and the bone was exposed, and I just didn't know what to do. And I don't even know if I told my mother or father. Let me stop for a second. I had to take a little break. But back to the story. For the longest time, I felt, really upset about when I remembered what happened. And it resurfaced about the past 5-6 years ago. Like, I would be driving in my car and suddenly think of a song or hear a song on the radio, and then it reminded me of Guam when I was little. And then suddenly I would remember what happened in Guam. And I remembered that puppy that got accidentally smashed. For some reason, I wasn't mad at my father. I was more angry at my mother. As 5 years ago, I would ask my mother, why didn't you take care of the puppy? Why didn't we take it to a vet? Or why didn't you care? Or, I would be angry about the situation. And then suddenly this year, I remembered, and the whole, 5 years I was thinking about the puppy, but I suddenly remembered MD, which I haven't thought about. I only thought about the puppy the past, 5 years. But when I thought about MD, all the pain and the feelings came out, and I realized the real reason for the pain was, at the time, I didn't have friends at all. I was, in fact, bullied a lot in school, in elementary or middle school, because we had moved from Hawaii to Guam, and I was bullied at school. And MD was my only, MD and Bantai were my only friends at that time. And seeing MD, injured like that, it just put me into a shock, because I feel I had lost her, especially when we moved. And I was so angry that, later on as an adult, thinking about the situation, that why didn't we help her? Why didn't we help the puppy? Why didn't we do anything to help? And for a long time, I felt guilt about that. And mainly because I didn't take care of my best friend. And talking about it and really helped me with understanding what to do to take myself back. Somebody made a comment on Facebook groups that I really appreciate. I hope I can find that comment and put her name up here. But I never thought about it this way. But she mentioned for me to try something different, to try to take myself back, mentally, to that place and time, and having a different outcome, taking myself back to that situation, to my younger self, taking the puppy back in to the house and healing the puppy, having a better outcome, and taking care of MD. And just those thoughts made me feel a little bit better about it. Just help lessen the hurt inside by making a post about it on a separate group. Somebody had mentioned that, I think you're going through PTSD. And I thought, PTSD, that's usually for, more severe situations. But I don't know, I couldn't find anything online, any stories about it, that something that affected a person, as like a child, as a pet loss. Um, but I just wanted to share this. I have 4 dogs right now, and they help me at the end of my day, and I play with them, and we cuddle. It's kind of like a therapy to spend time with my dogs, because it brings me joy to take care of them and play with them and make sure they're happy. And I just wanted to put this out and share with people. Oh, it's time. Oh, I'm sorry. It's about time to pick up my son. I'm gonna have to take a little break and get my son in here. Here's Axel. All done with church, huh? So I hope by sharing my story with you, it'll encourage you to open up and go way back into what happened, and just bring it out in the open and share it with somebody. And if you don't want to share with your friends or family, I suggest doing what I did. I went to a Facebook group and I posted my story, and a few people commented and gave me good advice, and also shared their friend or their mother's story. And yeah, so if you had an experience that traumatized you as a child, involving a pet, please comment below, and so you can share your experience and maybe help other people too. Thanks so much for watching my video, and I hope that you can check out the rest of our channel, because what I love to do with my life is to take care and raise puppies with music. And I train all the puppies, even at 2 weeks old, with music, dog music therapy, and to desensitize them with different experience with dog therapy music. And throughout their life, maybe toward the end of their life, we'll be using the dog therapy music when they finally close their eyes, and in hopes that will ease the process of them transitioning on through their last breath. Thank you again for watching this, and please make a comment if you like this video, and please share if you want to help if you have a friend in mind or a family member and that needs help. Please share this story to a friend, because I think it will help them out as it is helping me out. Thanks again for watching, and have a good weekend. And also making friends on YouTube, I was able to reach out and make an email and share my experience to my new YouTube friend. And she was the one that mentioned that it could have been PTSD is what I'm experiencing. So it's good to go out there, get yourself out there, and talk about your story to somebody. Share your story, because there are many others out there have gone through losing a pup when they were little, that they can relate to you.